Imagine there's a giant sleeping dragon right underneath a bustling city. Most of the time it's just snoozing, breathing gently. But every now and then, it stirs in its sleep, and the ground shakes a little. Well, in Italy, near the beautiful city of Naples, there's a place called Campi Flegrei, which is kind of like that sleeping dragon. It's not a single pointy mountain volcano like you might picture, but a huge sprawling volcanic area called a supervolcano. For a while now, this dragon has been getting a bit restless. The ground has been slowly rising, and there have been lots of tiny earthquakes like the dragon is stretching and yawning. People who live there are understandably a little nervous. They're wondering, is the dragon about to wake up? To understand what might happen, scientists are looking back in time like reading an ancient storybook about the dragon's past. And let me tell you, this dragon has had some pretty wild chapters in its history. So, let's hop in our time machine and travel back about 39,000 years. This wasn't just a small burp. This was a colossal event called the Campanian Ignimbrite eruption. It was one of the biggest eruptions in Europe in the last 200,000 years. Imagine the supervolcano unleashing a gigantic cough, blasting tons of ash, rock, and gas high into the sky. This cloud was so huge it spread all the way to Russia, blanketing a massive part of the continent in a layer of ash. This wasn't just a dusting of powder. It was a thick, heavy blanket that changed everything. The eruption was so powerful it caused what we call a volcanic winter. The ash cloud blocked out the sun, making temperatures drop all across the globe. For the early humans and Neanderthals living at the time, it would have been a terrifying and difficult period. Plants would have struggled to grow and animals would have had a hard time finding food. Some scientists even think this massive eruption might have played a role in why the Neanderthals eventually disappeared. It's a powerful reminder of how one volcanic event can affect the entire planet. After that giant roar, you'd think our dragon would go back to sleep for a very, very long time. And it did for a while. But it wasn't done yet. Our time machine now jumps forward to about 15,000 years ago. This time, the eruption was different but still incredibly impressive. It's called the Neapolitan Yellow Tuff eruption. Instead of covering the continent, this eruption was more focused on its neighborhood. It created a massive caldera, which is like a giant bowl-shaped dent in the ground that forms when a volcano collapses in on itself after emptying its magma chamber. This eruption is actually the reason the city of Naples and the whole area looks the way it does. The yellow tuff is a type of rock formed from the volcanic ash of this eruption, and people have used it for thousands of years to build their homes and cities. So, in a way, the city of Naples is literally built from the leftovers of an ancient volcanic tantrum. It shows that even destructive events can create the foundation for new life and new civilizations. The very ground people walk on is a testament to the volcano's power. Now, let's fast forward to a time that feels a little more recent, a little more human. The year is 1538. By this point, people had been living in the Campi Flegrei area for generations. They were used to the ground moving a bit, the hot springs and the steamy vents. But in the days leading up to September 29th, things got weird. The ground started rising much faster than usual. Some reports say by several meters in just a few days. The sea pulled back from the coastline and earthquakes became constant. People knew something big was coming. And then, it happened. A brand new mountain was born in just 1 week. This eruption created a cone-shaped hill we now call Monte Nuovo, which means new mountain. Can you imagine watching a whole mountain sprout out of the ground in a matter of days? It must have been both terrifying and absolutely incredible. Compared to the ancient super eruptions, this was a tiny little hiccup. But for the people living there, it was a dramatic landscape-changing event that completely reshaped their world. It showed that even the volcano's small events are still incredibly powerful. So what does all this history teach us? It tells us that Campi Flegrei is a complex and dynamic system. It's not a simple on or off switch. It can have planet-altering super eruptions, city-shaping medium-sized ones, and even smaller events that create brand new mountains. The little earthquakes and the ground rising that are happening now are part of this long, ongoing story. Scientists call this restlessness bradyseism, a slow up and down movement of the ground. It's the volcano breathing. The big question everyone has is, does this recent activity mean a big eruption is coming? The truth is, Nobody knows for sure. The current activity is similar to periods of unrest that happened in the 1970s and 80s, which eventually calmed down without an eruption. The volcano might just be stretching and settling back down to sleep. However, the lessons from the past are a crucial warning. They remind us that this is a powerful, active volcano, and we have to respect it. This is why scientists are watching Campi Flegrei more closely than almost any other volcano on Earth. They have sensors measuring every tiny tremor, every millimeter the ground moves, and every change in gas coming from the vents. They're using the knowledge of past eruptions, the giant Campanian Ignimbrite, the city-shaping Yellow Tuff, and the surprising birth of Monte Nuovo, to understand the signals the volcano is sending us today. It's like being a detective, looking for clues to solve the mystery of what the dragon will do next. The goal isn't to create panic, but to be prepared. By understanding the volcano's history, authorities can make better plans to keep people safe. It's a powerful story of how studying the deep past helps us protect our future. The sleeping dragon under Naples is a part of life there, a source of rich soil, hot springs, and a constant humbling reminder of the awesome power of nature. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time and geology. I hope this helped you understand the incredible story of Campi Flegrei. If you found this interesting, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Stay curious and see you next time.